Have you ever watched a young child completely absorbed, playing with blocks, and wondered how that simple curiosity can one day lead them to design, say, a bridge or a new app? Well, that's exactly the journey we're going to explore today. We're diving into the incredible path of design education within the International Baccalaureate, a path that transforms that natural curiosity into powerful, real-world innovation.
Everything the IB does is built on this fundamental mission, and design education, it's right at the very heart of it. You see, it's not just about making cool things. It's about giving students the tools to ask questions, to understand complex problems, and ultimately to create real solutions for a better world.
So, how exactly does this whole journey unfold? We're going to start with the core philosophy of design itself. Then, we'll see how those seeds get planted in the early years, watch them grow through the primary years program, really take shape in the middle years, and finally, blossom into some incredible innovation in the diploma program.
So, what's the big idea behind IB design? Well, think of it as a continuum, a seamless journey that's all about solving genuine, real-world problems. It's really a way of thinking that champions inquiry, creativity, reflection, and collaboration, all to make a tangible, positive impact.
And believe it or not, this amazing journey starts right here, in the early years. Let's forget about formal theory for a moment, because at this stage, the very first seeds of design thinking aren't planted in a lecture, but through pure, unadulterated exploration and play.
In these crucial early years, you'll see learners constantly interacting with their environment. They're testing things, they're building, they're exploring. They're encouraged to be super curious, to ask tons of questions, and just to make sense of the world on their own terms. This hands-on, play-based approach is truly the first step on their design journey.
And these early experiences, they build the absolute bedrock for everything that's coming next. Students aren't just playing. They're sparking their curiosity, they're learning how to communicate their ideas, they're embracing trial and error, and they're figuring out how to work together. These are the foundational skills they'll need for the more complex challenges down the road.
Okay, so as students move into the primary years program, or PYP, that playful exploration starts to evolve. It becomes a more structured, but still deeply student-centered approach to solving problems.
In the PYP, that playful energy gets a little more focused. Students begin to follow a clearer process. They learn to identify a problem, they brainstorm different ideas, they build simple prototypes, and maybe most importantly, they reflect on how to make them even better. This kind of structured thinking is the perfect setup for what's coming next.
Now, let's jump to the middle years program. This is where we see a huge leap. Students are introduced to a really powerful and formal framework, the MYP design cycle. This gives them a clear, robust way to tackle much more complex problems.
This cycle has 4 key stages: inquiring and analyzing the problem, developing some great ideas, creating the actual solution, and then evaluating its success. But here's the real magic. It is not a straight line. It's a loop, an iterative cycle. Students are constantly encouraged to revisit and refine their work, making it better and better with each pass.
And this slide really shows the incredible growth just within the MYP. A year 1 student might tackle a teacher-led challenge to design something pretty familiar, maybe for themselves. But by year 5, they're independently investigating a complex, real-world problem for an actual client, doing their own research and justifying every single design decision. It's a huge leap.
And that brings us to the culmination of this whole journey, the diploma program. This is where students take every skill they've been developing and apply them to innovate and tackle some seriously sophisticated, high-level challenges.
In the DP, the level of thinking just goes through the roof. Students are now conducting their own primary research, they're analyzing data, and they're prototyping multiple versions of their ideas. And they're grappling with some really big questions. Who is this for? Is it sustainable? What are the ethical implications? It's all geared towards creating truly innovative solutions.
This image, it really captures that level of sophistication. It's the result of years of building skills and understanding, the ability to create a solution that isn't just functional, but is also thoughtful, elegant, and genuinely impactful.
So let's step back for a second and connect all these dots. The real power of the IB curriculum is what we call vertical alignment, the way each stage intentionally and logically builds upon the last. It creates this seamless, really powerful progression of learning.
First, that free-form, curiosity-driven exploration of the early years gets channeled into the PYP's repeatable process of structured inquiry.
Then, that structured inquiry from the PYP is formalized and taken much deeper, becoming the robust methodical framework of the MYP design cycle.
And finally, mastering that iterative MYP design cycle is what empowers students to move beyond just solving problems to creating genuinely new and innovative work at the DP level.
Because ultimately, the goal of this entire continuum isn't just to produce designers, it's about developing the core attributes of the IB learner profile. It's about nurturing thinkers, innovators, collaborators, and responsible global citizens who are truly equipped for the modern world.
And that, right there, is the most important takeaway. The IB Design Continuum gives students something much more profound than just a set of technical skills. It gives them a powerful mindset for understanding, for shaping, and for improving the world around them. Because in the end, design is not just a subject, it is a way of thinking.